When we were younger, most of us men enjoyed reading comic books and watching superhero movies. Why? Because they were not weak individuals. They forced us to say, "I want to be like that guy." In this video we will look at 9 things that make you weak and drain your masculinity. Before we get started, hit the like and subscribe button. It's free and will help me grow this channel. Whether it's in his job, money, or love life, every guy wants to feel strong, powerful, and dominating. We all want male strength and determination. However, many of us are weak in this area. Many of us lack it because we engage in activities that hinder us from becoming the men we were created to be, thus making us weak men. What exactly are these items? I've outlined 9 reasons that are stopping you from being the man you were born to be, why they exist, and how to eliminate them from your life for good. Let's get started. Number 1. Consumerism. The typical individual in today's world has more free time and money than their forefathers could have ever imagined. With more time on their hands, people will spend more money on consumer items of all kinds, shapes, and sizes. To put it another way, if you have more money, you'll have more stuff in your home. I don't mean the odd purchase of this or that when I mention consumerism. I'm referring to the excessive, overpowering, and ongoing purchasing of products and services that provide you with no return on your investment. Consider all of the unnecessary items that have accumulated in your house. Things you don't need, clothes you don't wear, and gadgets you don't use. Everything adds up. And I understand, we all purchase things that we previously utilized. It provided us with comfort, delight, and pleasure. However, it is no longer useful to us. Simply hand it over. Toss it out. Why it makes you a weak man. When you purchase anything, you're taking money out of your pockets and putting it into the pockets of someone else. It's a fair exchange if you choose to do so. However, if you feel compelled or addicted to doing so, you are essentially handing over your authority to individuals who don't give a damn about you. Consumerism makes you a weak man not just because you give away your buying power, but also because you deplete your own strength and get nothing in return. How to prevent it? Make a weekly or monthly budget and stick to it. Have a buddy hold you responsible if you want to raise the ante. You'll eventually have to learn to control your expenditures and develop judgment. Whenever you purchase anything, particularly one that takes up physical room in your house, ask yourself, do I really need this? Number 2. Sedentary life. The culture of the United States and Western Europe is sedentary and caged in. Consider this: we spend the majority of our days bent down at a computer screen for hours on end. We spend more time trapped in traffic in a vehicle, sitting in a box, and being even more sedentary. Finally, we get home and sit for hours in front of the television or computer. The truth is that being sedentary makes you a weak guy. We were created to move. Our genome, or DNA, is still the same as that of our hunter-gatherer forefathers. They didn't spend the whole day gazing at a computer screen. When you don't utilize your muscles, heart, or lungs, they atrophy, leaving you feeble. How to stay away from it? Enroll at a gym, attend a few yoga sessions, or perform calisthenics at home. Take a walk or go for a swim. Begin slowly and gradually increase your workload. It took a long time for Rome to be constructed. Number 3. Excessive body fat. A high body fat percentage goes hand in hand with a sedentary lifestyle, as mentioned in the previous point about getting up and exercising more. High body fat levels may also be harmful to males because they signal the body to generate more estrogen, which is primarily a feminine hormone. Estrogen promotes the accumulation of fat under the skin. Higher estrogen levels are associated with more fat beneath the skin. It's a never-ending loop. It makes you a weak guy for the following reasons. Higher estrogen levels result in decreased testosterone levels, which, as we all know, is the godly hormone for males. When your estrogen levels are high and your testosterone levels are low, you are essentially becoming less of a man. How to prevent it? Get moving once more. Start lifting some big weights at the gym. Lifting weights boosts testosterone production. Number 4. The internet and social media. Social media is a fantastic resource. It allows us to reconnect with individuals we haven't spoken to in a long time as well as meet new people. However, it is just that. A tool. You put it away after you're through. Many individuals nowadays find it almost too difficult to do so. On a site like Facebook, the typical social media user spends 50 minutes each day. That is just an average. Some individuals go even farther. 50 minutes doesn't seem like much. However, it's approaching an hour. What are individuals doing on social media platforms like Facebook, for example? What do individuals usually do on these kind of websites? Let's see. Look for entertainment in the news stream. Like and comment on things. Spy on ex-girlfriends. Creep on girls. Look at highlight reel pictures. Will these activities help you live a happier life? I really doubt it. It makes you a weak guy for the following reasons. When was the last time you saw anything really revolutionary on social media? I'm ready to bet. Never, unless it's a link to a piece of information that will really alter your life. Spending a significant amount of time on something with a low or no return on investment is akin to gambling. You're handing up control. It adds up all those 50 minutes a day. Imagine if you used that time to accomplish something that will benefit you in the long term. Where do you see yourself in a year? What will it be like in 5 years? It also has a negative impact on your mental health. People report the following after spending a lot of time on social media. Anxiety levels rising. Depression becoming more common. Envy is an intense emotion. Isolation that is pervasive and persistent. You're putting yourself up for failure if you use social media as a dick measuring contest. There will always be someone who is more jacked, more wealthy, more attractive, and seems to have a better life than you. How to prevent it? The only cure for a poor social media habit, if not addiction, is time away from it. Before you use them again, you'll need to find a method to detach from them for a time. Number 5. Excessive use of smartphones. Smartphones, like social media, are an excellent tool. But when used incorrectly, they provide another handy source of distraction. Imagine going to a restaurant and seeing a table full of individuals who are all staring at their phones, with no one speaking. Have you seen this kind of conduct before? I have. It's a depressing sight. Why it makes you a weak man. Life isn't all ups and downs. There will always be moments of boredom. You make it simpler to hide from reality every time you take shelter in the screen of a smartphone. You don't want to speak to anyone? Take your smartphone out of your pocket. You don't want to mingle at a party? Take your smartphone out of your pocket. Don't want to be bored while waiting in line for food? Take your smartphone out of your pocket. The capacity to remain in the present moment and accept life as it is harmed by continuous stimulus. Running away from issues rather than confronting them straight on becomes a habit. It may seem to be trivial and unimportant. However, how you do one thing determines how you do everything else. Because of your incapacity to deal with minor problems, they quickly become large ones. How to stay away from it? Keep your smartphone use to a minimum. When you're feeling really bored, embrace it. Number 6. Working in a bad job for a long time. There isn't anything much worse than wasting time at a crap job. A poor work fulfills the following criteria. There isn't much opportunity for development or growth. Peers and management do not respect you. Workplace is uninspiring. There is little to no chance to do work that is both fulfilling and exciting. Why it makes you a weak man? We spend the bulk of our waking hours preparing, thinking about, and performing work. If your place of work isn't helping you move closer to your objectives, you should leave like it's a burning building. How to prevent it? Chances are, if you're young, you don't have any children or a mortgage. Start hustling if that's the case. Get your career moving in the right way. This may mean searching for a new career or perhaps establishing your own company. Number 7. Complaining. We all despise the man who goes on and on about how miserable his life is. He takes the pleasure out of the atmosphere and brings a lot of bad energy with him. He mutters something about the weather. He rails against the government. He whines about how he was such a good person, and how the lady he lusted for passed him up. It makes you a weak guy for the following reasons. Complaining affects your mental state in 3 ways. It makes you a victim and renders you helpless. It draws your focus away from what's going well and onto what's not. It repels individuals who may be eager to assist you. How to prevent it? Complaining isn't something you can get rid of quickly. It requires a complete paradigm change. However, you should be aware that you are to blame for the majority of what has occurred in your life. You may not have had any direct influence on it, but you are in charge of how you respond to it. Recognize that whining has become a habit. It, like any other habit, may be broken. Get over it. You may not have been dealt a fair hand. Everyone's life is difficult. People and excellent circumstances are pushed away from you by your self-destructive inclinations. Number 8. Pornography. If you're a regular visitor of explicit websites, you know the ones. I'd advise you to quit. I'm more interested in the impacts on focus, attention, and present moment awareness than in the morality or ethics of viewing pornography. Pornography on the internet lowers your drive, productivity, and capacity to interact with people. This may seem strange, but here's why. Porn, like drugs, operates strongly on the brain's natural reward system and causes significant psychological harm to men. Dopamine is a chemical found in our brain. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that controls motivation and goal-setting behavior. When the brain is exposed to strong dopamine spikes on a frequent basis, it reduces the number of dopamine receptors available for dopamine to bind to. This implies that performing the same activities will give you less pleasure over time. It also has an impact on how your body utilizes testosterone, the God hormone. You're also teaching yourself to be a passive observer and, in a way, a voyeur. How to stay away from it? There is a chapter on sexual transmutation in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich that is often ignored. It's really one of the book's most crucial sections. It's considered prudish or antiquated in today's hypersexual environment. Here's the truth. There would be no life in the cosmos if sexual energy didn't exist. It's the reason you've come this far. You have a strong need for sex as a male, which is driven by testosterone. Sexual transformation occurs when sexual desire is channeled into accomplishment. Simply stated, this desire drives you to pursue the things in life that are more likely to attract a partner, money, and power. However, if you channel this energy into artificial channels like viewing porn, you'll lose the cutting-through power that a guy needs to rise and thrive in the world. Guys may undergo a 90-day reboot to sexually reset and rewire their brain in groups like the No-Fap movement. Many men have reported the following throughout the reboot period. Increased vitality. Self-discipline has improved. Increased desire to converse with females. And a whole lot more. Last but definitely not least. Number 9. This one is a little more ethereal, but it still has an impact on things. We are descended from the alpha males, the top dogs. The majority of males throughout history did not have the opportunity to reproduce. To obtain a chance to procreate, a guy has to physically battle and screw his way to the top. Thankfully, we no longer live in that reality, but the programming remains. As a default setting, men's minds are oriented towards competition and domination. You may choose to opt out of this self-improvement journey, but I promise you will feel dead on the inside. Humans, especially males, thrive on challenges and opportunities to grow. If you don't sharpen your iron, it will get dull. Life is the whetstone, and you are the sword. Start honing your skills. How to prevent it? Begin by pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. These are only a few of the characteristics that characterize you as a weak guy. If you have issues in any of these areas, addressing just one of them will have a significant impact on your life. Are you going to go through with it? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video.